If you have debt problems or you are struggling to pay your accounts each month, maybe you're barely making it through the month or not making it at all. Maybe debt collectors are already hounding you and they can be a pain, as we all know. Maybe you're worried that your wages and salary might be garnished. What should you do? There are a number of options that you can pursue. And I want to show you the different options available so that you can make the right decision and that they can help you make the right decision for you and your circumstances. My name is Michael Lilly, and for a living I help people just like you to get out of debt without having to go under debt review. In this video, I wish to show you what options are available to you, and hopefully it will help you to make the correct decision for your specific circumstances. The first one that we're going to be looking at is administration. An administration application is made in the Magistrates Court. To qualify for administration, the maximum debt that you need is 50,000. If your debt exceeds that, you may not apply for administration. Your debt will continue to accrue interest and costs. You may not make any more debt, in other words, you may not apply for additional credit. And the repayment amount is to be deducted from your salary. An administrator is appointed who is usually an attorney, and his or her running costs must be covered out of the monthly contributions, thus making it more difficult to finalize this debt quickly. The additional costs and the interest that accrues may cause the process to take years to settle your debt. Right, let's look at the next one. And the next topic that we're going to discuss is that of consolidation loans. One common approach that people try when they're over-indebted always involves trying to take out an additional loan. How does a debt consolidation work when a loan is involved? Essentially, you take out a sizable loan, you use those funds to pay off all your creditors, and then you make monthly payments on this loan. This loan can be acquired from a bank as normal. Although this approach has the basic appeal of consolidating your debt into one monthly payment, there are significant costs and risks involved. Firstly, the interest rate on a debt consolidation loan is likely to be high. The rate may be lower if you're using a home equity loan for this purpose, but if you take that approach, you'll potentially be jeopardizing your home ownership if you fall behind on your loan payments. With this approach, to consolidate all your credit cards and store cards and other loans, etc., that you pay off with the loan will remain open. This raises the very real possibility of running up new debt on those cards or on your store cards, on top of your existing consolidation loan debt. Consolidation loans are too much in the vein of robbing Peter to pay Paul. All that you have actually done is shifted your debt, but you haven't really done anything to address the underlying problem. A consolidation loan will definitely increase your debt load. For instance, you may have 200,000 rands worth of debt. When you take out a consolidation loan to settle that, you're going to end up with debt in excess of 330,000 rand. And that is a fact. You may go check these calculations yourself. Which means that you're going to be paying a higher monthly payment than what you are currently paying, and it will take a longer period to pay it off because it's a larger amount. Where's the sense in all of that? All that you have done is created more debt to pay your existing debt. Such a consolidation loan may offer you temporary relief, but believe me, it will catch up with you after a few months of paying that larger loan. We see it regularly. People take loans to settle their debt, and then a few months down the line, they are in a worse situation. Having the money now is fine, but when you have spent it, you have to pay it back. To qualify for a consolidation loan, you must obviously have a clean credit record, no adverse credit bureau listings, no skip payments, no over-indebtedness, etc. and the banks obviously will apply the normal assessments and criteria to determine whether you qualify for that loan or not. Right, the next one we're going to be having a look at is sequestration. Sequestration is an application for sequestration that is brought to court in order to surrender your estate, which is your assets and your liabilities, to creditors, under the control of the Master of the High Court, and to declare you insolvent or bankrupt. You will have to pay a substantial fee to have an attorney represent you and apply for a sequestration order. If it is granted by the court, the Master will appoint a trustee to administer your estate, and he must dispose of your assets according to the insolvency laws of South Africa and distribute the proceeds thereof to your creditors after the administrative costs have been settled. This will affect your life for several years, and the stigma will probably remain with you for the rest of your life. During your insolvency period, you will not be creditworthy. You may not have a check account or a credit card facility. You may under no circumstances engage in any debt arrangements. Since it is a High Court matter, the costs are astronomical and must be paid out of the sequestration or upfront. And it can be more than 30,000 Rand depending on the size of your insolvent estate. Also, you must prove that there is a benefit to your creditors, which is difficult for most people without any solid assets. You will also have to prove that you are indeed insolvent and not just experiencing cash flow problems. Then there are unscrupulous liquidators who also demand their pound of flesh. Lastly, if you want to apply for rehabilitation thereafter, it entails a further court application in court with added costs, unless you remain there under for an extended period, which is normally 10 years. While sequestrated, you may not be a director of a company without the approval of your appointed trustee. For someone who is already battling to pay their debt, where do they find that kind of money? A solvency test is done to determine if your debt is greater than your assets, the things that you own. However, if your essential living expenses and your debt is greater than your income and you have no assets that can be sold, you will only get into more trouble as the debt trap in which you are in may begin to spiral completely out of control. Voluntary sequestration might be an option to consider, but you won't get off scot-free as you will have to pay towards the debt from your income, which will be determined by the master and or your trustee. Right, the next aspect that I wish just to discuss with you is debt review, or debt counselling as it is known. Many debt review adverts do not specifically say that they are advertising debt review. They often use terms such as debt management, debt consolidation, etc. And even sometimes they advertise debt consolidation loans to seemingly coerce consumers to sign up with them. You may only discover later that it is debt review that you were placed under, when in fact you might have been thinking it was something else. So always make sure that you know what you are getting into. Application for debt review is also made in the magistrate court. You must eventually pay the total outstanding debt, plus all the costs and interest, and this could take you years. You may not acquire any further credit whilst you are under debt review. Your creditors may, under certain circumstances, withdraw from the debt counselling process after 60 days from the date on which you applied for debt counselling, and they can proceed with legal action against you. Let's not forget to mention that debt review affects your ITC record, your credit record, and therefore your creditworthiness. It can also have an influence on future job applications, and even renting a home for you and your family can be quite onerous. For more information on the effects of debt review, visit this website. You may have heard of it before, hellopeter.com. And there you can read what people have to say who have been there, how they have experienced it, and what their opinion is. Do you really want to be locked in for years by a court order? Do you want to be possibly prevented from renting a home for yourself and your family? Do you want to be placed in a position where finding a job can be difficult due to the debt review? And do you want to be in a position where you may not acquire additional credit again for years whilst you're under debt review? The law says, whilst under debt review, you are not allowed any more credit. You may not cancel the debt review, except in special circumstances. And thirdly, your name will remain listed on all the credit bureaus as such until all the debt has been paid. Once you are in, you are locked in. The only way to get out of debt review is to pay up all your debt. Or appoint an attorney to apply to the courts to prove that you are no longer over-indebted and to rescind the debt review court order. But be wary of advertisers promising you that they can get you out of debt review. I'm not sure how they do it, but they seem to do it. But I do know that they charge a hefty fee, and some of them often just disappear thereafter. So be warned. Just because someone says they can get you out of debt review does not mean that they can. In all three circumstances above, sequestration, administration, and debt review, the process includes a court order which are reflected on the credit bureaus, and that is why you cannot get further credit. Your creditors and employers often draw ITC reports, and they quickly pick up these court orders that have been filed against you. Right, lastly, the last aspect which I wish to discuss with you or topic is that of real debt management. Real debt management. And this is what we do. We believe that our debt management program or plan offers a better and positive alternative to debt review and administration. We do not take your last cent. In fact, we make sure that you come first and then only your creditors. Unlike the other options, our debt management program has an achievable effect on your credit score and will not cause long-lasting negative listings. Our debt management program plan is available to everyone who qualifies. When you use our service, you will be assisted by an experienced team that have more than 15 years experience, and we will negotiate directly with your creditors on your behalf. We deal with your creditors so that you do not have to contact them, so that they do not have to contact you. During the entire process, you will be protected from their harassing phone calls, repetitive emails, unwelcome visits, and other unpleasant debt collecting tactics that they use to force you to pay. We do not promise that you can start today and be debt-free tomorrow. That's impossible. Or that you do not need to pay your debt. You must pay your debt. But we do promise that if you stick with us, you will be debt-free quicker than with any other method, and that is a fact. We have been doing this for many years, helping thousands of clients achieve their goals of becoming debt-free. This means that we have been very successful at it, and so can you be. What are the benefits of our debt program? First of all, there's no debt review, there's no sequestration, there's no administration, no garnishes, no judgments, except for those that you might already have, no court orders hampering your life for years, no fixed term contract, which means that you may cancel at any time when you feel you are financially strong enough, no upfront fees, we stop your creditors from harassing you, you pay one monthly payment that you can afford, there are no credit checks with us, we handle all the legal issues, if any exist or arise. We take all the calls and correspondence from your debt collectors and reply to them, and we have a strong legal backing to support you when necessary. If you would like to find out how we can help you, send us your details. We will call you back absolutely obligation free. Or you can visit our website www.debtbytes.co.za. That is it for this video. Let us help you resolve your debt problems. Request an assessment from us, which is totally obligation free. Or why not give us a call and see how we can help you in your specific situation. You have nothing to lose but your debt. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you will benefit from this video. Please share it with at least one friend. Who knows, you may be helping him or her. Thank you.